Hey there, welcome again to another exciting video. And today we're going to be making my famous delicious cinnamon rolls. And I love these cinnamon rolls because they don't last in my house. I make a pan and it's gone before you can say jack, so but anyway, yes, that's what we're going to be making today, cinnamon rolls. And the good thing is it's very easy to make. And again, I'm going to be using the kneading method instead of using my mixer. And the reason why I use my kneading method is because probably not everybody who's going to watch this video has a mixer and may want to use the kneading method. It's basically the same. You just add a little more time to the kneading to make sure your dough is right. So yeah, we're going to be making cinnamon rolls today. To start, we're going to use 2 cups of warm milk, and the milk is heated to about 105 degrees, just about warm to the touch. So you're going to pour that in here, and we'll use 2, and then we'll be using 2.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast. 2.5 teaspoons goes in there. Just put that. And then we're gonna add sugar. That's 1/2 cup of sugar we added in there. And what I'm going to do to this right now is grab my whisk and just stir it a little bit, not too. I think I'm just going to add in the butter. This is melted butter, 1/2 cup melted butter. I'm going to pour that in there. Just swirl it a little bit more. Now we're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes until the yeast is proofed. You want to do this, and don't miss this step in all of my yeast bread that I make, or yeast products. I definitely use this method because it helps me to determine whether the yeast is good or not. Because sometimes you end up putting everything in there and realize that the bread is not going to rise, the dough is not going to rise, and then your bread comes out the way you don't want it. So don't forget to use this step. If you trust your instant dry yeast, you can go ahead and do that, but this is my method that I prefer. It helps me avoid mistakes. So this is how you know that the yeast is good. You see all those bubbles on the top? This tells you that the yeast is active and is good to go, and your bread will be great. So I've shown you what the yeast looks like. This entire mixture is good to go. Now, let me take these out of the way. The next step is going to add 4 cups of flour. In this recipe, I use 5 cups of flour, but initially, I'm going to use 4 cups of flour in this. Let me grab my whisk. It's down. So the first one here will be 4 cups of flour that I'm adding to this. After that, I'm going to add to this 1 teaspoon baking powder. 1 teaspoon baking powder, just about there, 1 teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons salt. Always add salt to your yeast bread, because if you don't, it's not going to taste good. Believe me. So salt is there to give it the taste. And I don't mix my salt in the yeast initially. I put it on top of the flour. That's what I do. For some reason, I think it impacts the activeness of the yeast. So we have 2 teaspoons of salt in there. And then I'll be using my whisk. They call this the dough whisk. If you don't have a whisk like this, you can use a wooden spatula. It does the same. And just like mix this up nicely. Stir everything up. Make sure the flour and everything is mixed up in there. Okay. I'm telling you, these cinnamon rolls I love. Since I started making them, I make them like weekly at home. Weekly, and I'm telling you, it lasts no time. It doesn't last at all. So you might want to try it so you can be the family favorite, you know. So we have it here. Now what I'm going to do with this is going to remain right in this bowl. And I'm going to cover this and allow it to rise, rest, or double in size, whichever way you want to look at it. So I'm going to grab my plastic. I use this. It looks like a shower cap, but I buy them in bulk. And then it's so convenient to use. Just no fuss. Just easily take it around. Okay, so it's refusing to to behave right now. But anyway, we got it. So I'm going to keep this in a nice warm place for about an hour until it doubles in size. We'll be back. I'm just going to stick it in my oven because it's kind of warm in there. So it will help the process as well. While the dough is resting and rising, we're going to go ahead and spray this pan to get ready to go to the next step. So I'm just going to like slightly spray this pan, and I'm going to line the pan with parchment paper. Just line this pan with parchment paper, and we'll put the pan away while we wait for everything to rise. So it's been an hour, and I'm going to get the dough out of the warm place, which is in the oven. Ooh, and it has doubled in size. Ooh, yeah, it has doubled in size. See there? It's all being double, almost triple in size. Okay, get this one away. So the next step, I'm just going to, again, clean hands, kind of bring this down a little bit. I like to do this step using my hand because I don't want the dough getting stuck in the whisk. So I'm just doing this. I'm adding the additional cup of flour that we had to put in there, and then just gonna stir it up in here. I'm gonna put it on the board, but for now I'm just doing this to get it sort of ready to knead, because we already have flour in here. And I'm gonna put this here. And scraping everything out. Then I'll add some flour here. Like I say, you can push, and then if you need a little more flour, don't put too much. fold and push, fold and push, push. So grab all the little dough pieces hanging. So I have my rolling pin and I'm going to lightly, I'm not pressing too hard. I'm going to lightly roll this into 15, 16-inch square. See what I'm doing? I'm not like rolling it too hard. I'm just trying to get that square. Okay, we want to be, and then we can go on to the next step. So next step is to mix our cinnamon and brown sugar. So in here I have my cinnamon and brown sugar. Is 3/4 cups brown sugar, I'm sorry. 3/4 cups brown sugar and 2 tablespoons cinnamon. And so I'm just going to stir this up like this. And also on the dough, I added some softened butter in various places on the dough. And some people add the butter in here. I prefer not to do that. So I'm just going to drop a few more pieces just all around the dough. A few more to go around the dough. There's a reason why they call this the honey bun. I guess some people call it that. Some people actually use honey instead of brown sugar to make their cinnamons. So, okay, I think that's enough. And once we have that all around like that, next step will be we're going to stir this properly. Make sure there are no clumps in there because they're going to go on here. I usually use my hand and go like this and sprinkle the sugar and the cinnamon mixture. First I'm going to spread it and then I'm going to bring it closer to the edge. Like that. It's making a mess here, but of course, you know. So I'm going to spread it all over. Spread it all over in there. And then kind of, you know, smooth it over a little bit. Bring it to the edge, not too close, but somewhere near. You know, you don't want it spilling out when you roll it. Okay. So now we have the cinnamon sugar and the butter. Or you can see I adjusted the camera a little bit, so it's showing better now. So as you can see, this log, we are just rolling it into a log. Roll it tight. And when you get to the edge, you just pull this up and bring it to the top. You don't want to leave it hanging loose. And then you kind of like play with it to stitch it up, because you don't want it falling open as you cut. So I'm just kind of playing around there to stitch it up. And once that is done, let me turn this around. Now that we have that done, I'm going to try to like roll it a little bit and stuff the edges in. So see there, this is what we have. And let me see, I don't want anything sticking out. So you have to do it until it looks like a real log and it looks even. Okay, I'm going to try to get 15 cuts of cinnamon buns out of this log, and just by looking at, I'm going to do 1.5 inches each to give me 15 based on the measurement I have here, which measures 24 inches. So I'm going to do 1.5 each to give me 15. And it should measure 24 inches to get 15 cinnamon rolls. Cut along those lines that I marked. Starting with here, just do a nice cut. Okay, so we have 15 here. And what I'm going to do next is to pick this up. Make sure they are tight and tucked. You don't want it to be falling all over the place. One. And pinch all the edges that seem to be sticking out. 2. You will have some cinnamon falling out, and I mean, you know, 3. Gotta squeeze them together a little bit. See me trying to twist. Sometimes you have to twist it because the cinnamon is falling out. Let me just cut this real quick. Okay. And they will almost be they will not slightly touch, but they will be close by each other. That's what you want. Got this here. It will slightly touch. After I'm done, I'm going to move them a little bit together so they can touch, because that's how they're going to bake. And make those delicious buns. Okay, so we're going to do that like that, slightly touching, slightly. So okay, there you go. I've put them in a pan. We have 15 buns in here. So what I'm going to do with this, I can leave it out here and just cover it, but I'm going to cover it and just set it somewhere else where it's going to rest a little bit, and probably, yes, it's going to rise a little bit too, but just to rest. We are on the last leg of this delicious cinnamon roll recipe, and we're ready to go in the oven. But before that, I'm going to give these lovelies just a little brush of melted butter. Yep, just a little brush of melted butter, mostly on the top. And as you can see, they've risen a little bit, and they're actually touching now in some places. When they bake, you will actually see them touch even further because they're gonna rise. And yeah, so this is how you make your cinnamon rolls. This is how I make mine, and they always come out delicious. And I'm telling you, you should try this. I'm encouraging you to try this. You're not going to be disappointed, and believe me, it's going to be your most favorite or your favorite cinnamon roll recipe. As I said before, I made these, they don't last. I can bet you that we have butter on there, and now I'm going to pop it into the oven, 350 degrees. I'm going to do between 30, 32, 35 minutes. I monitor it at the 30-minute mark just to make sure it doesn't get too brown. So there we go. Look what we have here. Cinnamon rolls, fresh out of the oven. We have 15 rolls in all, and I can tell you it smells fantastic in here. It smells so good. So there you have it. There you have the cinnamon rolls out of the oven. I'm telling you, the smell in here is just fantastic. And if you were in this kitchen right now, I can tell you, you would just want to grab these rolls and begin to eat them. And I'm looking forward to you making yours and letting me know. So the next thing I'm gonna do, now I'm not gonna use the regular like icing sugar type. This has a bit of icing sugar in here, but I call this my caramel. I made it more liquidy, you know. So what I'm going to do while the cinnamon rolls is still hot, I'll just pour this just a little bit over all of the buns. Oh my goodness. I can imagine how this would taste tomorrow or later on, right? But I'm telling you, when you start to make your own pastry at home, I don't think you ever want to go to the store to buy bread or other pastries anymore, because you will already be a master at doing this, you know, and plus, you know what's in there. So I'm gonna let this roll all over. Let it roll all over. Now, if you prefer the confectioner, like the white topping they put on there, you can go ahead and do that. But I like this better because it doesn't make it look white on top or anything. So this is it. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to your feedback. Please remember to subscribe to this channel and share this video. If you love baking, home and garden, everything home, this is what I do here. So I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.